Alright, hey guys. So this is the second time I'm trying to shoot this video. The last one was 20 minutes long. So I'm gonna make this one hopefully much shorter and not go into as much detail. Just kind of give you a rundown of what we're looking for this assignment. This is both for my ELA9 and Mrs. Keffer's ELA9. On Moodle, there will be a link to this video on YouTube, as well as I'm going to kind of write the two accounts that you can look at to get an idea of what this assignment is doing. The first one is this one here, Mr. Pet 2018. This was done last year by Mr. Pet, who was the grade 9 teacher alongside me. And he created this as more of a way to just kind of tell you exactly what needs to happen. It's not an example. He's telling you exactly what needs to do. So he gives it step by step. So he's got, he gives a rundown right here of the actual assignment, saying that this assignment is designed for grade 9 academic English class. The learning outcome of this assignment is that students will be able to think critically and analyze character development in a text of their choice. This course outcome follows directly from Common Core standards. Okay, so he just tells you exactly what it is and some of the standards that are involved. And he also shows it down here so you can see some of the stuff in a little more detail. Then he's got some videos as well as like steps. So he's got step 1 here, choose dynamic character, step 2, step 3, or planning, step 4. Okay, so you can go through this one here, Mr. Pet 2018, to get a more detailed explanation of what we're looking for this Instagram account. Okay, the other one, going back to here, the other one that we're looking at is this con.o'malley, and this is an example that I made last year based off of the book A Monster Calls. Okay, so this one here is just explaining that this is just a mock, that this is not a real account, it's a mock account for a class. These other ones all here, these are the ones that are your example. It's important to note that this particular account would be probably getting a B. It's mostly because of one of the posts that I'll talk about in a second. So you'll see that I've made the account. I've called it. This is the name that I found. This is the person I'm pretending. So essentially, you can do this one of two ways. You can either try to make an account in the third person about a character from your novel, or you can pretend that you're the person in the novel and make an account as if you are them in the first person. Okay, so it's either third person or first person. I've chosen to make my account in both the first person and third person. So each one of these posts, I do a short couple sentences as if I am Connor O'Malley, and then below that I have some sort of analysis that's done in third person. The key here is, regardless of how you want to do it, is that you're choosing a dynamic character from the book you're reading. So a character who changes over time from either Animal Farm, Fahrenheit 451, or Brave New World. Yeah, so I've got a total of 6 posts. You're required to have a minimum of probably 4 posts. You should have a post that explains how they are in the beginning of the novel with evidence, so some sort of quote. Then you need a post that explains how they've changed over time with evidence, some sort of quote from the book. You then need a post that explains how they interact. That's this one here for me, how they interact with another character from the book, at least one other character. Then you need to make at least one post talking about how they either influence the plot or how they influence theme. Okay, so I said that this here is a B. That's because I chose to just talk about the plot. I do not mention the theme in this. If I chose to do both, then potentially I could get the A, but that's only as long as, according to the rubric, I have matched or met everything else before that A. So once again, if you want the A, or you're trying for the A, you need to do both plot and theme. All right, so these 3 posts here, I've decided to go 3 posts that show how they change over time. You only need to do 2 posts, but the more you do, the more explanation that you give, probably the better that Mrs. Keffer and I will understand what you're trying to say. So let's just go into a post. So I've got a post here that starts off in the first person, in Connor O'Malley's voice. Then you see here I go into my, you see here I go into my evidence and analysis, and in here I have some quotes. I've got some quotes here, so there's one here, and I tell what page it's on. I have another quote down here, and this second paragraph is me analyzing those quotes and analyzing how Connor O'Malley was at the beginning of the book. Okay, each post should probably have a minimum of a paragraph, but you might have several other paragraphs. This is also my image itself is also relevant because I discuss how at the beginning of the novel, Connor O'Malley's very independent. He's making his own breakfast, and that's our first introduction to him. So I decided to take a photo of a breakfast. I then go on to the next one. I decided to add a GIF on this one, and it shows a dude trashing a TV. And in here, in first person in the top, and then in third person down below, I explain how he's losing control, he's no longer independent, and that he doesn't realize how much help he actually needs, and his isolation is pushing, or his anger is pushing people away. And then I decided to make 3 about his development, in which case I show this image, which is related to how Connor and his grandma make a connection, and they find out that they need to be there for each other. And I explain how Connor O'Malley's understanding of grief and that it's okay to seek help from other people. All right, so you only need 2 to show change, but I was trying to be thorough and show his true evolution, so I did 3. Up here, the video doesn't work for some reason on this, but when you do it on your phone, the video should work. I make a video that's in the first person of Connor O'Malley, just explaining my interactions with a character named Harry. And then over here, I do my analysis of that, okay? And I've chosen to put evidence in here. It's not required for this particular part of the post, but I do choose to do that. Then over these 2 here, I've got another GIF, and I've got this one here. These are both explaining how Connor is, how he develops the plot, okay? So in this first post, I do in first person, then I do a plot explanation that explains the first half of the book, right here in a paragraph, and then I explain the second half of the book in another 2 paragraphs, okay? You only need to do 1 post for this, but I was finding that I had too much information while I was writing that I needed to make 2 separate posts. So yeah, check this one out. Note that I've done all this. I've given it a name. You will be required to, when it's the due date, which Mrs. Keffer and I will give you the due date. When it is due, you are required to give us your handle, okay, the account name. All right, that's all we're going to require from you. I don't want to have to chase you guys down. We'll call you up on that day. It is due that day. If you do not have it that day, well then we're gonna have to be chasing you, okay? So make sure your account is finished by the due date. You'll talk to Mrs. Keffer about what the due date is, and finally, make sure that your account is not set to private, okay? So here I go to privacy and security. This is my personal teacher account. I go to privacy and security, and I make sure that this is not selected. Okay, I do not want it to be a private account because then I can't access it. The teachers can't access it without becoming friends with you, and we don't want to have to do that. We just want to easily be able to search your account and then read it. Let's see, what was I going to say? Sorry. Last thing is, oh gosh, I'm sorry. I think that's everything. If there's anything else, we will let you know. Oh, yes, that's right. Okay, so the school has blocked Instagram, hence why I'm making this video at home. The school has blocked Instagram, so you're not going to be able to work on the actual account at school. However, you do have the time to make the posts, right? Like to make the write-ups. You have the time to make these portions, what's going to go with your picture. You even have times to Google pictures. So you'll be responsible for making the actual posts at home and creating the account at home, but at school, you can make the write-ups and the pictures/videos that go along with it, okay? So that when you get home, it's easy just to pop it up online. All right, if you have any questions, let us know. Once again, this will be on Moodle. All right, good luck.